Welcome into a brand new episode of Tribal Council Chat. As always, we are your hosts. My name is Bruce Heller,
And my name's Brett Parnell.
and let's dive in. How are you doing this week, buddy?
Doing great. How are you?
Good. I've just been watching Stanley Cup playoffs, been watching the Cardinals a little bit, so been doing
Nice.
well.
That was a crazy catch video that I sent you from the Cardinals game a few days ago.
Oh yeah, the left field home run run. I was
Game
watching
winner.
that at my parents' house when it happened.
Nice.
And then after that game turned on the Pittsburgh Philly game 6 that went into overtime tied at 0. And I'm so glad neither of those are my team. That game would have given me heart palpitations.
Yeah, absolutely.
And so congrats to the Flyers. They pulled off an upset I didn't see coming. Their like ragtag little rebuild team is going on to the second round.
And speaking of who they're playing, good luck with that, Philly.
Yeah, they're in trouble, but
Because a team that I thought was going to do decent just got destroyed by Carolina.
To be fair, most people pick Carolina. You and I were the odd ones on that.
Eh, maybe in the States. In Canada, it was pretty, Ottawa heavy.
Oh.
So,
Well, Carolina's been in the conference finals a lot lately, and the team
yeah,
they can't get past missed the playoffs this year. So, this might be their year.
it very well might be.
But they have to get past one of my favorite mascots in the next round to get there.
Yep.
Because the Flyers have one of the most chaotic crackhead energy mascots I've ever seen. And I say
I mean,
crackhead energy in the best way.
isn't that every Philadelphia team?
I love Gritty. Like,
Yeah.
there was multiple videos from home games that series of Gritty, like, beating up a stuffed penguin and chucking it off of the upper deck. You
Yeah,
don't
you
see
sent me
that
that. That was
at
great.
every game. Like, he's kind of a nut, and I love it.
Yeah, that's for sure.
But we're here to talk about Survivor mostly. So,
We are.
kind of moving from the pre-show chatter into episode 10 of Survivor 50. What did you think of this
But
episode?
well, just like the NHL, um, it's time to send somebody else home, and I was pretty ecstatic this week.
Yeah, my draft is dead now.
I'm sorry. I didn't mean that in relation to your team.
Oh, I know. That was my thought is, oh, I'm
I'm
dead.
just
I
not
made
a
a good
huge
run.
fan of the person who went home, and I'm glad they're not on the season.
Yeah, most people are happy Stephanie went home. She wasn't someone I was rooting for a ton. I just wanted to do well in the draft.
Yeah, fair.
I've liked her on her previous seasons. They gave her no edit this season until this week, basically.
Yeah.
So I want like when I watch Guatemala or Palau, I'm actively rooting for her. I just wanted my draft team to do well. I wanted her to go a little bit deeper.
Makes sense.
I'm dead now, but I still beat Kevin, so that's nice.
You did still beat Kevin. I think it's gonna.
My
I
mom's
mean,
technically still alive. She's
yep,
got two
your
people
mom's still
left.
alive.
This is between you and Kyle now, I think, though.
I would say she's still got a chance if Aubry wins the game, which looked more likely this week.
It looks more. She's getting a better edit lately, but like it took so long for her like edit to get going.
It did take a while,
And
but
I'm just not one who like reads and tries to figure out who's winning based off of the edit anyway. I just don't know that Aubrey's done very much this season.
I mean, I think that Michele confessional really elevates Aubry's chances if I'm trying to read the edit.
I thought of you when we saw that. I'm like, I can't wait to talk to him about this.
Yeah, we'll talk about that when it comes up, but not
But
only did I like it, but I do think that there might be something to that. So I'm looking forward to talking about it.
speaking of the drafts and of Kevin, we have a video update. I will be screen sharing this of him like not just sharing who lost people, but like in-depth standings the way he did when he co-hosted a few weeks ago. So let me
Let's
pull
do
this
it.
up, and he will take it away.
Tribal Council Chat. It's me, Kevin Oliver, and I'm channeling my inner Mr. Beast here with this one. As I brought my trusty coin with me. I'm going to flip this coin. If it lands on heads, I'm going to talk, and if it lands on tails, y'all are going to listen. Heads it is. All right, you get to listen.
Darn it, we have to listen to him talk.
For a minute about our draft, the Tribal Council Chat draft. As we saw Stephanie LaGrossa Kendrick go out this weekend. With such a thing happening, we also see Bruce Heller go out of contention to win this draft. And with that, in our 5th season of doing a Tribal Council Chat draft, we will have our 3rd winner. I won the first 3, Bruce won 49, and somebody else, either Brett, Kyle, or Heather, are going to win the Tribal Council Chat Season 50 draft. Now here's the thing. I crunched the numbers. And as you can see if you went and looked at our graphic, like I said, Bruce is out of contention. Right now he's sitting at a good number 15 with no way of catching Kyle or Brett.
Darn.
Steve, all of his guys are out. He finished with 17.5. I got one person left on at 17.67 with Tiffany left. But the 3 that are left here, this is where the number crunching happens. There is only one possible scenario that Heather can win this draft. All of these things that I'm about to tell you have to happen for Heather Heller to win this draft. And it starts with either Aubry or Rick winning, and the other person sitting next to them and getting the second most votes at Tribal Council, Final Tribal. And it also requires a boot order to where somebody from Brett's team goes home next week, so Joe, Jonathan, or Rizzo. And then Kyle loses Cirie and Ozzy right after that. And then Brett loses the other 2 of Jonathan, Joe, and Rizzo, whichever ones didn't go at 9, in 6th and in 5th. And the final 4 be Aubry, Rick, Tiffany, and Emily.
I'm okay with Emily being
That's
there.
it. That's the only possible scenario in which Heather can win this draft. Brett and Kyle, they're both wide open here. I would give the favor advantage a little bit to Brett at this point, as he has more wiggle room. And if I look at how things are shaping out here, Brett has a higher possible score, but also by half a point. But he also has a lower, worst possible score by half a point. So I'm going to give the advantage to Brett because of the wiggle room he has over Kyle. But between the 2 of them, anything could happen here. And so that's kind of where we are. Bruce, Steve, Kevin are out of contention. Heather is skating on the thinnest ice possible. Next week, if Joe, Jonathan, or Rizzo doesn't go home, Heather will be done. So that's where we're at. Good going, everybody, and stay tuned to next week as we continue to whittle down Survivor 50 in the terms of this draft. Good luck. Back to you guys, Bruce and Brett, for Tribal Council Chat.
That was fantastic. Very well done.
That was fantastic.
A little too much of a smile
that.
when he told the audience I was dead. Like, don't blame him. We have a bit of a rivalry with this, but
Kevin, if I ever need a statistician for a political campaign, I'll give you a job.
So, yeah, looks like you're in the driver's seat, buddy.
Yeah, looks like it.
This could finally be your year.
It could finally be my year. We'll see how it goes, but I think so far, you tell me what you think, but my strategy of picking people that at least early on, that weren't really going to be divisive and that people would want to keep around, I think is paying off. Do I think either Joe or Jonathan is going to win this game? No. But do I think both of them could possibly be sitting in the final three? Yes.
Guess we'll find out.
Do I think Rizzo will be sitting in the final three? Probably not. But if he is, I think he can absolutely win.
Yeah. It would be awesome as a co-host of the show to see you finally win one.
Yeah.
I mean, we've done 4 of these. That time hasn't come yet. That's almost like not winning a cup since 1967. So if you can get yourself out of that boat, that'd be nice.
It's you this time that's making the Leafs jokes.
Yes, but I'm calling you the Leafs, so I'm being a little bit of a jerk about it. I'm basically calling you the Leafs of our show, but
That's okay.
but you're about to remove yourself from that comparison, maybe. So
Might be. We will see.
So diving into the episode, we start post-tribal. Ozzy's confronting Emily about last week because she wanted to target him and voted for him, and he thought they had this close alliance from their original tribe, and I kind of understand him on that.
Yeah. I do too. First of all, do we want to do a player of the week?
I forgot about that. Yeah, let's do that.
Do you got one or do you want me to go?
It's got to be Rick, right?
I'll give it to you. There's a good case to be made, but that wasn't the name I was necessarily thinking.
I mean, it doesn't gotta
go
be, but I'm going for the flashy answer here. He
Yeah.
doubled the prize pot. Not that he has a shot at winning that prize pot, I don't
He
think.
might. I mean, Rick is at this point a couple challenges and fire away from getting there, and I don't think the jury dislikes him the same way that some of the people playing do.
Yeah, but the people playing are gonna be on the jury, and it's people that he just sat at tribal, and I almost didn't pick him because of this. And
But
we'll
do you
get
not
to
think
this.
that Devens
Sat at
gets-
tribal and basically exposed everyone on every side and ticked off everyone.
Yeah.
So, which was just wild to watch.
But if Devens can fight his way to the end, do you not think he gets like coach's vote, D's vote?
I just don't know if he gets enough.
I don't know for sure, but I think I think he would be a long shot, but that he would get votes. And if you're getting votes, you can maybe persuade 1 or 2 people to flip to you at final and then win the game.
But he doubled our prize pot. He got immunity this week, right before the vote, which was huge. He might have been going home. And he has a real idol now.
He does have a real idol. I want to talk about the fake idol because I think hindsight's 20/20, but I think Rick might have messed himself up here.
Oh, that was one of my notes, was to get into that, so that's good.
Okay, great. Well, we'll get into it after my player of the week because I don't agree with you that it's Rick.
Most people won't. I'm going with the flashy, easy answer.
I think I agree with your logic behind it. I think Rick certainly made that big move. He played into the twist. He was able to go for it. If you looked into coverage from after, supposedly both Jeff and Mr. Beast did not expect somebody to want to volunteer, so you can tell the production wanted a rock draw but didn't get it. That was a good move from Rick. I think it's smart. I'm going to go into the edit and see who I think really elevated here. My player of the week is Aubry.
Interesting.
I think Aubry has gone in this episode, and it's not just the Michele commentary, but in 3 or 4 confessionals that she got. I think she's gone from a back-end sideshow character of this season that is there because she was a fan favorite to someone who can actually win the game.
Yeah.
And I think they might be trying to show that. So
And
I don't know,
to be fair to Jeff and Jimmy, why would you expect someone to want to volunteer for a twist that has a 50-50 shot of sending them home?
Unless you think that it's if you don't volunteer for it and get immunity, that it's 100% shot you do go home.
I think he was the most likely option. I don't think it was 100%.
I don't think so either.
There was like 4 names that were flying around.
But I can understand why he would volunteer, because the odds for
No,
Devens are better that he stays that way than that he stays by facing a vote.
I get why he volunteered. I just mean, like, from the perspective of Jeff and Jimmy, Mr. Beast, I totally, like, them being surprised that someone volunteered. I probably would be too.
Yeah, I agree.
So, and, you know, and again, we'll get to this. It wasn't one, like, I think coming into Tribal, he was the most likely name. By the time we were at that point, and it was right before the vote, it probably was pretty likely him because of him just blowing everyone up at Tribal.
Yeah.
So, because he had people from both sides of the voting.
And the fact that
with
Devens did that, he's a good Survivor player.
Yeah.
He knows what he's doing. The fact that he did that tells me that before the Mr. Beast twist came out, that Devens was going to go play a shot in the dark and say that it is what it is.
Yeah. If he was going out with a bang if he went out, for sure.
Yeah.
So, speaking of
he
Rick,
stayed with a bang.
After we see the Ozzy Emily thing, we see Devens realize he's at the bottom, and he says the biggest mistake he made in his first season, the biggest mistake other people made was people letting him know he's at the bottom.
Yep.
And I think
that's almost a good flashback, because the same thing kind of happened when he came back from the Edge.
Yeah.
That Lauren and Kelly were a bit too outspoken, leading to that to tug on someone like Julie's emotions, which left him in the game.
Yeah. And so, next up, we see Aubry talking about how it's harder to make bigger moves with less people left. And a lot of times those big moves happen when like 8 or 7 people are left. But it feels like they're at the point to do that now with 10.
And this was where I first had, even before Michele comes up, this was where I said, oh, this is onto something. When I saw that confessional by Aubry, I'm like, they probably have everybody on this beach saying something similar, but they chose to show us Aubry say that this is the type point in the game where everything starts to heat up and matters at the end.
Yeah.
I think that's big. I don't know if Aubry's going to win the game. I definitely think at this point that Aubry's probably going to be in the Final Four.
Interesting. And so my next note is one you wanted to talk about. It's Rick comes clean. He shows everyone his idol was fake. And my note was, good move or bad move?
Bad move. And it could have, but here's the thing. I don't necessarily know if it's a good move or a bad move at the time. Hindsight's 2020. Why is it a bad move is because in this episode, Rick gets a real idol. If Rick doesn't say that, here's what he can do next week. I have the idol I got last week. I have the other idol. Play one after the vote. Oh, it's fake. Jeff throws it in the fire. Guess what? No one voted for him because they just watched Jeff hand him an idol. And now he has one for the next week too. And all of a sudden, Rick's probably the one sitting in the final 5 going, I can win immunity, and then I'm apparently set to make fire, which we've seen him do before. And talk about that as a redemption story if Rick Devens is making fire to get to the final 3.
Yeah.
That would be crazy after what happened with Chris Underwood.
Yeah, for sure. Unless someone pulls an Underwood again and puts themselves in fire against him.
Yeah, they could.
Not that anyone would need to do that. Chris had to do that because he had been voted out and needed a flashy move.
I think Joe or Jonathan might need to do that.
Yeah. And so we leave camp and we have an auction montage.
We do.
Which reminded
This
me
was
of when
fun.
we did our history of the auction, where we went through and talked about every Survivor auction up to that point, which was leading into 45. It was when we were still fairly new, I think.
Yeah, that was.
Because
Right
we
before-
started after 44 ended. So we had never covered live Survivor yet, but we were on free Zoom back then, and it limited us to 40 minutes. So go back and listen. It's a 2-part episode. I think the only 2-parter we've ever done.
Yeah, that was fun.
One of my favorite episodes we've done. But we learned that sharing money is allowed and sharing food is only allowed on shareable items. And the stupid money rule is gone, where if you have the most amount of money, you lose your vote. That's gone. And
Thank
you keep
God,
any
because
money you don't spend.
Otherwise, people just go and take one item that they like and throw 500 at it, and that's it. The point of an auction is to bid as little as possible and get the reward. It's like when I go to, not that I do, I said when I do, it's like as if I'm some sort of millionaire here. But if I was to go to a high-end art auction in London or New York, it's the point to me to say, yeah, you see that painting? I want to pay $10 million for it, even though I'd rather pay 500,000 to not lose my vote.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous.
But no, so that rule is gone. And you and I have wanted that gone since they introduced it, because the auction went away for a while because the players broke it and just holding out their money for advantages.
Well, did the players break it or did Mike Holloway break it?
Mike Holloway is a player. That's the same answer.
I'm saying it was just him. I thought that was genius, but apparently the fan base and production had to listen to Dan.
But this rule was their attempt at fixing it and preventing that when they brought it back. And I don't know why they felt the need to do that when they could have just not put any advantages in it. Yeah, but we figured that out this time.
And we saw that this time, that there was a bigger twist later in the auction that required everyone's participation, including a celebrity event, but there was no real twist or gameplay advantage in the auction itself.
Yeah.
Which was good for a change.
Yeah. And even when they had the stupid money rule, there still wasn't advantages. I don't know why they felt the need to do both of those. But either way, they fixed their issue. I was very happy about that. Some notes from the auction that were funny. We have an unknown covered shared item. Rizzo starts the bidding at 80. And it goes in increments of 20, so you'd think 100 would be next, right? No, Ozzy jumps the bidding right up to 200 for some reason.
This seems to happen a lot in Survivor auctions. If you go back and watch some old school auctions, you would see that all the time. I honestly, for a while, I started to think, do these people not understand anything? I honestly think it's just editing now.
And after Ozzy bids 200 on this, Aubry bids 280. So I would not have been a part of this bidding, not because of the giant leaps, but you've heard my personal auction rule. Don't bid on the covered items.
Yeah, fair enough.
It could be really good. It could also be a glass of river water or a grub. Who knows?
Interrupting Tribal Council chat to talk about a sports update. The Toronto Raptors have just forced Game 7 in overtime.
Nice. So
that's all.
We have lots of fun items. Cirie is able to buy like 3 different things. If it's possible to win the auction, I think Cirie did that.
Yeah, I think so.
So, we get a giant item that's meant to be bought by everyone. It's $20 a piece. Probe says it could be the biggest comfort or the biggest chaos of the season. Because we've had a few of these that are shared items that are comfort and chaos, where they buy it together and then one eats a couple grubs and the other eats fried chicken.
That was funny.
No, Ozzy's fried chicken wasn't the grubs. That was Jonathan eating like a sea slug or something.
I know. That's what I meant.
Ew. And it turns out to be loved one letters, which is fantastic.
The only thing that I wondered in this is that this is 50. All these people know each other besides Rizzo and the rest of the cast because he was on 49. And Rizzo seems to be getting along with everyone anyway. Can you imagine if this was like maybe old school Survivor with these rules where there was some rivalries going on?
Yeah, that'd be it.
Just think of it like, Sandra, you have to eat grubs in order to have Johnny Fairplay get ice cream. F no!
Yeah.
That would have been great.
Then you just wasted your money, though.
I know, but you know what would have happened.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Put that twist in the Worlds Apart auction.
Yeah.
Really spice it up. Also, I crap on Thailand a lot. Shout out to Thailand for its auction.
Yes.
It's actually, it's a weird twist, and I don't know why they did it, but they did the auction pre-merge, so we're bidding as tribes instead of individuals. Really interesting.
Shout out to Jan for staring at Jeff with a blank face, Swiftie reference, blank face, when she indicates, when Jeff says, what goes with nachos, and she has no clue that the answer is margaritas.
To be fair, that might not have come to my mind either.
That would have came instantly to my mind. Now the audience
no one's
thinks I'm
surprised
drunk.
by that. You know, we've done all these season highlight episodes every off season. Who knows, guys? Maybe this next off season is when Brett and I just go full crazy mode and do the Thailand episode. We'll have to see.
I'm down for it.
That'd be an experience, for sure.
It would be an experience, but at least the location would give me something to talk about more than most people who have attempted that. Thailand is not my lowest season solely because I absolutely love that country.
I like the location and I love the scenes of it. I just wish we had filmed a different season there.
Fair.
I
still wonder if there's something to the. I still wonder if there's something to the Thailand conspiracy, but we'll never know.
Yeah. This is not a Thailand episode yet, though. So going back to 50, there is a chaos with the loved one. Also, I love the loved ones letters. It's one of my favorite things every season, just seeing the love from home. I was kind of holding out hope that for 50 we'd bring the loved ones visit back.
Yeah.
I knew it was super unlikely. I was holding out hope. But we always either get the letters or the visit.
But at the same point in time, it is a 26-day season. And if the last time that we ever get to see loved ones is Jeremy's kids, is Kim Fitzgerald, is Tony's family, I'm good with that.
No, the 41 was a great one to be the last one. But I missed the love. That's the best reward of any season it's on.
Exactly.
And I thought 50 might be big enough for them to bring it back. But we got letters, and we've never gotten letters and a visit in the same season, I don't think. So.
Yeah, we have.
Have we?
If I go to old school all the time.
It seems kind of redundant.
The letters would come 2 episodes before the visit.
Okay, well, I guess I misspoke.
I'll make an All-Stars reference. We had the opportunity to win letters in the 2nd episode of the merge, and then the visit was in the 4th.
Okay, I guess you're right. My mind just went blank there, I guess. The season is short enough now that kind of feels redundant, but...
Yeah. He wouldn't be Tribal Council chat without one of us talking about All-Stars.
Yeah. So this is where the chaos comes. The biggest YouTuber in the world, Mr. Beast. His real name is Jimmy. His birth certificate doesn't actually say Mr. Beast on it, surprisingly. And reveals a super beware advantage. And then we leave the auction and go straight to an immunity challenge. No explanation for what super beware is. It'll come out at Tribal.
Interesting.
What is your mind thinking here after this reveal?
Just judging by the limited amount of content I've seen from Mr. Beast online, I was nervous for my team here. Because I thought Mr. Beast was going to say, I'll give you $200,000 to let Jeff snuff your torch, and Rizzo was going to say, yes, let's go.
Yeah.
That's what I was scared of. I'm like, if I'm going to lose the fantasy pool off of Rizzo taking an offer from Mr. Beast, that will not be bad. And let's see, if that was to hypothetically happen, that there was an offer put out to these players, Rizzo would have been the most likely to take it, right?
Probably. I don't know. He wants to win really bad, though.
Yeah. But he's also like, you don't think taking that would get him invited back to another season?
I don't know.
He's like
He's
the youngest
unpredictable.
person here.
But we leave the auction, we go straight to an immunity challenge. And I don't know if I'd call it a classic challenge, but it's a recognizable one.
Yeah.
We're standing on a balance beam holding like a bow-shaped piece of wood, balancing a ball on the curve, and we occasionally move down the balance beam to narrower sections. We've seen this challenge a bunch.
Yes, we have.
So, it's... For the players' sake, I'm really glad that if we're doing immunity right after a food auction, that we're doing a balance challenge and not like a physical exertion challenge, because we would have had more people throwing up than we already had this episode.
I just hope that one way or another we had a bathroom break in between the two and didn't go straight to an immunity challenge.
Yeah. And so, one note I have from the challenge is from Rizzo, just great Rizzo line, is we see Devens make a fantastic save because the ball's going to roll off, then he saves it, then he restabilizes it. And Probst says, oh, a great save by Survivor's favorite newscaster. And we cut to Rizzo on the bench, who just says, oh, take that, Savannah Louie.
So I know you told me that you're not on the chat BCC page anymore. That was entertaining when that happened.
Oh, do tell.
First message, Savannah at LizGod. WTF. Followed by the next message in the group from Sophie Bellotti in all caps. Fight, fight, fight.
Yeah, that sounds on brand for Sophie.
Followed by Rizzo at LizGod. That was AI. I would never say such a thing.
No, you said that.
It was so funny.
That's awesome. That is, I love the three of them.
Oh, I know. Probably my favorite alliance of this era.
Yeah.
I mean, it would make sense that they would be my favorite alliance of this era. My other two favorite players of the new era, other than that alliance, the whole story is about being on their own.
Yeah. And so, sorry, I was distracted for a second. You sent me that McDavid Sharks trade thing yesterday, and I sent it to a couple other people. So,
Oh.
I was responding to a text about that. Tiffany wins immunity, and I like to imagine that, like, because Kevin's our resident huge Tiffany fan, I like to imagine he, like, set off confetti cannons all around his house for this. So
Yeah, I would imagine so.
I was happy for him here.
Do you think that Kevin was happier here or when Chrissy got voted out?
Chrissy's on his team, so I definitely think it's this one.
Fair enough.
Our audience knows us and him and hears us talk about this stuff enough, though. We could possibly make that an Instagram poll this week, though.
That would be a great idea. I mean, I'm just going to clarify. Sometimes you don't always want people to win just because they're on your team. If I pull up my fantasy baseball team now, I have Jazz Chisholm Jr. on it.
I think one of the best rivalries in baseball right now is Jazz versus the ABS system.
Yeah.
Because I've seen multiple times Jazz gets called for a strike and he immediately hits it and challenges it. And most of these challenge pitches are right on the edge of the strike zone. And I've seen multiple of these where Jazz challenges it and the ABS shows the ball is firmly in it. There's space between where the ball landed and the edge of the zone, and it's not close. So
I also have Cody Bellinger on my team, so
yeah. And no, we'll get a text from him while he's listening to this section, I'm sure. But be looking to our Instagram story this week, guys, because we're not going to tell you guys what his text to us says. We're going to see how you guys vote and predict.
Yeah.
Watch it get 3 votes, but that'll be funny.
That'll be funny.
So Tiffany wins immunity, and we get back to camp, and everyone's reading their letters. And I don't care how many times we watch the scene every season of them reading their letters. I love it every time.
Yeah.
It's just the emotion of it, the pull to home, and how much they miss their loved ones and getting to hear from them. I love it.
Yeah, absolutely. Especially when you get something that is unique like Cirie's situation here.
Yeah.
That was great.
And so this is where I have Brett gets a Michele reference in my notes. As Aubry says that she still thinks and feels she should have won 32, but she gets why Michele won and why the things Michele did works and that she can borrow from some of those things.
And again, adding to what I said earlier, is Aubry about to take off and have the best final third of this game? And if she does, she's probably our winner.
Yeah. This is a fun confessional for you, because you started off with her saying she should have won, but then you get a compliment on the back end of it where she's using some of the same tactics.
Yeah, the first time I watched it, I'm like, really, Aubry, we're still going here? You're going to encourage people on social media to be the way social media people like to be sometimes?
Well, they're going to do that anyway.
Well, hopefully most of them have stopped watching the show. But at the same time, it's once I watched that 2 and 3 times, I'm like, okay, actually, this is a compliment on Michele's game. And Aubry's saying that there's things that she can learn from how she did lose in order to try to perfect her game this time, which I like.
Yeah, and honestly...
Because Aubry's game has been kind of maybe not on JT levels, but following the same trajectory of just kind of getting worse and worse every time she plays. Now she's reversed that.
Yeah. Definitely not as extreme as JT. I don't think she was ever as good as his first game or as bad as his Heroes versus Villains game.
No one will ever be on the same exact level as JT when it comes to getting worse every time you play.
I'm not super convinced that Game Changers was a ton worse than Heroes versus Villains. They feel pretty comparable to me.
Yeah. Fair enough.
I will say, shout out to Game Changers JT for stranding his tribe on a raft in the ocean without a paddle so he can look for an idol. Love to mention that whenever I get a chance.
That's always funny.
If we ever have someone from that tribe or that raft on the show, we got to ask them about that.
Oh, yeah.
But yeah, we get the Michele kind of confessional flashback here. We get that compliment. Then we see her and Jonathan and Steph at the hammock. They're kind of talking. They're playing with names around.
Mm-hmm.
Aubry mentions how there hasn't been any idols flush and asks, are we taking out people we don't trust or are we taking out big threats?
Yep.
Jonathan, I think, mentions Ozzy, and the other two immediately agree. They like this plan. And I wrote down in all caps, no one tells Cirie this time. And none of them directly told Cirie, but, they were dumb enough to try to bring someone in that, in my opinion, they should have known wouldn't go for it, and that person went and told Cirie.
Yep.
So, we're getting better. We're not directly telling her we're targeting Ozzy this time, but be careful who you try to bring in.
Very true.
And this is Jonathan.
And don't try to bring in Emily into anything.
Emily wasn't the problem.
I know. I'm saying just in general.
Oh. And Ozzy is Jonathan's plan, and he kind of exaggerates and lies. He tells Stephanie that Ozzy said her name, and she's on board. And so they pitch this to Rick. And Rick is in. He says he'll talk to Emily. He can convince her, and she's on board easily. And here's the stupid part. Jonathan says he'll go talk to Joe, who we as an audience know that Joe can't stand Rick Devens.
Yep.
Which I'm guessing means the people on the island have heard it multiple times also. He's not going to go for a plan that keeps Devens around. Why are we even trying to bring him in on this?
Yeah.
Emily's easily in. Jonathan...
And we also know that Joe won't play an aggressive game either.
Yeah, Jonathan goes to Joe, talks to him about Ozzy. Joe doesn't tell him no, but doesn't really tell him yes either. Kind of says he'll think about it. Then immediately tells Cirie that Jonathan and Stephanie are mentioning Ozzy. And I originally wrote down, stop telling Cirie her number one is a target. But I erased it because Joe wasn't trying to bring Cirie in on the plan. He was telling her to foil the plan.
Yeah.
Jonathan, you're stupid. You and Joe have been tight. How do you not know he's never going to go for this?
So he's been foiling plans all season.
If Jonathan doesn't try to bring Joe in on this might be a lot less chaos, and Ozzy likely goes home. I think the ball was rolling in that direction till Joe told Cirie.
It's interesting. Also, Ozzy had an immunity idol.
Yeah, but Ozzy's not a super self-aware person. If Joe doesn't go and tell Cirie, does Ozzy find out his name is out there?
Very true.
This was a big misplay from Jonathan trying to get Joe in on this. There has to have been someone else you could get a vote from.
Yeah.
So, Cirie makes a pitch to Ozzy to keep him. And this is an interesting conversation because, like we said, Ozzy's still learning how to be new Ozzy sometimes. And so Cirie makes a pitch to Ozzy that would keep him in the game that involves using the extra vote. And Ozzy's immediate response is, are we sure now is the time to use the extra vote? And Cirie's answer is simply, you want to go home? And Ozzy just says no, and they move on. That conversation just made me chuckle for some reason.
That's always funny because, like you say, Ozzy is not the most self-aware person, and Cirie is the most aware person in this whole game.
Yeah. And so we see Stephanie say that she's using the steal a vote. So between that and the extra vote and Ozzy's idol, we have the potential going into Tribal to see 3 advantages played tonight, not even counting whatever happens with the Super Beware.
Yeah, we do.
And so we go into Tribal.
When we see Stephanie play, I guess this is more for Tribal, so go ahead.
No. Also, I kind of didn't have this in my notes. Lots of chaos, lots of names changing. Information's going back and forth. We know who each other's targeting. Plans shift from Ozzy. Stephanie mentioned Cirie, then Cirie mentioned Stephanie. Aubry's name is out there at one point. Rick was the original target. People still want him gone. So at this point, going into Tribal, like, I usually have a good idea who's going home. I genuinely had no idea going into this Tribal. What about you?
I thought Steph was the most likely at this point, but I wasn't completely convinced.
Yeah.
Either way. I just felt like it seemed like all... Steph was the one that was getting heat at camp, but then Rick has been in that spot really all episode, so anything could have happened. Ozzy for a while, but that seemed like production was more trying to distract us and give us another option.
See, the Ozzy thing felt real. It just, Joe blew it up early.
Yeah.
But we go into Tribal, and this is where my first note from Tribal is what I referenced earlier, because the back and forth of all this and the plans going at Tribal targeting each other, Rick is the vote people are trying to bring in because he's desperate to save himself. He has all the information. So what Rick does is he sits at Tribal and just shares everything and airs out everyone's secrets and takes off both sides of the aisle. Yep. And says, hey, Jonathan and Stephanie and Aubry, they were targeting Ozzy. And then they targeted Stephanie, and Stephanie wanted to target... Just shares everything that both sides said to him. Which, he's on the bottom, and when Rick's on the bottom, he has nothing to lose. And he becomes an agent of chaos, and this is what we get.
That he does. We've seen this before.
But this ruffled some feathers, for sure.
Rick at this point is neither a pilot or a passenger. Rick is the guy who pulled the emergency alarm on the middle of a plane and got 15
stop
cops
it. We're not making the pilots and passengers a thing again. That was like the third season I saw, and so Ghost Island and Devens versus Goliath weren't super metaphor heavy. We've had metaphor heavy seasons since then. But, like, the pilots and passengers was a running metaphor the whole season, and I got tired of it by the end. I don't know if I'm the only one or not, but...
I just don't understand why, as somebody that's paranoid of this, as someone who's a big traveler myself and a travel agent, but sometimes I just get randomly into watching weird TikToks of people acting crazy on planes.
Oh, there you go. And, like, it's not a bad metaphor.
Like, hopefully this doesn't happen to me. Well, I'm with somebody else on a plane. I just want to go on a vacation.
The pilots and passengers wasn't even a bad metaphor. They just used it too much.
Yeah.
But we learned that the Super Beware is a coin flip. And if a person calls it right, they're safe, they have immunity, and they get an idol. And Jimmy is doubling the prize pot to $2 million.
You agreed with me that they also get an idol. This seemed to be a point of debate online. Some people didn't seem to think that the idol was to be played that night. I'm like, no, Rick has an idol going into next week, and he got immunity.
Yeah.
Okay, we're all clear. You and I agree.
Yeah. And so, yeah, they get the safety, they get the idol, and Jimmy doubles the prize pot to $2 million. If they call it wrong, they're out immediately, no vote.
Yep.
If no one volunteers, we draw rocks to decide. And Rick immediately volunteers, and nobody wants him to do it. And my note is, will they let him do it? And we talked about him flipping at the beginning of the show, so we know they do. But there
They
was a
had to
little
let him
bit
do
here
it.
where I thought someone would step up just to force a rock draw and keep Rick from automatically having it.
They had to let him do it.
Did they have to though?
Unless, let me ask you this then: if he wants to do it, and you're sitting there, even if you think that Rick getting an idol is dangerous, do you not let him do it if it means that you don't go home?
Well, true.
The only way, in my mind, they don't have to let him do it is if two people actively want to do it. So
True.
if he's saying, I want to do it, fine, you're the one. Now, if in contrast, Devens says, I want to do it, and Rizzo stands up and says, no, I want to do it, now all of a sudden we have something to go.
Yeah. And so Rick gets up to do the coin flip. He's probably the target at this point after blowing up everyone's spot. And the coin flip goes his way. So Jimmy is doubling the prize pot to $2 million now, and Rick has an idol, and they can't vote for him tonight.
Yeah. Big win.
And so Stephanie does end up going home. Before we get into a line blindside first boot, I have a question.
Yeah.
One twist we saw early New Era with 41 and 42, because those two, like, there was a lot with 41 and 42 that got scrapped because those two were filmed together, was Do or Die.
Yeah.
I don't know if that got scrapped after 42, if we got it on 43 also, but we got it at least twice.
We did.
And so the way Do or Die works is that it's basically like this. It's a coin flip, and it's who does it is determined by an immunity challenge result that I don't remember entirely the mechanic of it. I think it's whoever steps out first from the challenge. But
Yep.
it's a game of chance, and you choose a box and Probst opens it, and if you get the wrong result, you go home immediately without a vote. And I remember back then, you probably remember this, the online Survivor fans killed Do or Die. They hated it, right?
Yeah.
Because of the threat of someone going home without a vote. We had that same threat here of chance sending you home without a vote. This is not getting near as much criticism as Do or Die got back in the day.
That's true.
Why is that?
I think that it was probably just the fact that there's a big upside to it as well.
Yeah. I guess Do or Die didn't have the upside. It had the negative side, and then if you win, you just stay in the game. Yeah. This gives you incentive to want to play. But I was thinking of Do or Die watching the Super Beware. I'm like, they brought it back, but with an incentive for winning. That's interesting.
Very true.
I also think, well, I was going to say it's not getting the criticism because he won the coin toss. That if he had lost, people would be out with pitchforks and torches. But none of the Do or Die people ever lost either. And that still got the pitchforks and torch treatment. And to be fair, yeah. I hate Do or Die also. I'm glad they got rid of it. But I just wanted to hear your thoughts on why they weren't getting the same treatment. But you said it well. Look, you get an incentive for winning with this that you didn't get with the other.
Exactly.
And so, moving into a line blindside first boot, do you have 3 names?
Yeah, your 3 names are gonna be this week's voted out castaway, Stephanie LaGrossa. You're going to get from season 19, 20, and 22, Russell Hantz. And you're going to get, let me think of one other one, from season 12 and 31, Terry Dietz.
So it's Russell, Terry, and who else?
And Stephanie.
Oh, that's right. Huh.
Do you want the theme of this, or do you want to
Yes.
give an answer? The theme of this is fan favorites that your co-host Brett just never really cared for.
Huh. I knew we disagreed on Guatemala. I didn't know you were just never really a fan. Interesting.
Yeah.
The other two I knew you never liked, but
But all three of them are three of the most popular, probably 50 players in the franchise. Just not ones I've ever cheered for.
Stephanie, her third season isn't around enough for me to have an opinion. I loved her first two seasons. And then 50, I'm just, not nearly on board as much. But I'm going to first boot Terry. He's, I think, the most likable of these three. And if he made the end in 12, I think he wins. I'm going to blindside Stephanie because aligning with Russell to the end is a proven way of winning.
Fair. I'm going to agree with you on Russell. I'm going to blindside Terry and hope that he can help the tribe early and first boot Steph.
There you go.
I think Terry would be more productive in a merge game. Steph tended to be confrontational in her Guatemala pre-merge game.
Yeah.
Or I mean, Terry would be more productive pre-merge for a tribe. What are your three names?
So, I'm going to play off of you a little bit and go with allies of your three players.
Okay, cool.
And so Russell Hantz had a lot of notable allies across his first two seasons.
He did.
I'm going with an ally from his third season that thought she was going to play the Parvati and Natalie role. But Zapatero was not letting Russell go anywhere. So you get Stephanie Valencia, who I think could have gone pretty far, but just hitched her wagon to the wrong train.
Second chance.
Yeah. For Stephanie, I'm going to give you a player I really like in Palau and give you Ian.
Okay.
And for
Did
Terry...
you see that video I think I sent you of Ian today? You'd never recognize him.
I didn't recognize him when I looked at him. I heard the voice. I'm like, oh, yeah.
Cool.
For Terry, I'll go with a tribe mate from his original older guys tribe and go with Bruce Kanagi, something like that.
Nice. That makes it a lot easier. I'm 100% going to align with Bruce.
Darn.
He just seemed like such a neat guy to be on a tribe with.
Yeah. He made a Zen garden.
Yeah. That was amazing. Bruce was the actual martial arts teacher, not the fake I'm going to do Tai Chi around camp, Coach Wade.
Can we get them on a tribe together just to see what happens?
Bruce will. I don't know. I'm probably totally out to lunch on this, but I'm just picturing a world where they're on a tribe together, and Bruce cuts to confessional and goes, "This coach guy doesn't know nothing about Tai Chi, and he's been making it up for 20 years."
I want that. I don't need Coach on Survivor again. Maybe we do like a YouTube series with just the two of them teaching Tai Chi lessons together. I don't know, but... So what else are you doing?
So my other two are Ian and Stephanie. I'm gonna put Ian on the jury because he was extremely loyal.
Yeah.
I think Stephanie would be a good player. I would like to align with her and go fire, but I think she would probably be the most the how do I put this? The one of these three who would play the hardest game. She'd probably be the best player here, which is why I'd first boot her.
I am going. I'm definitely blindsiding Ian and putting him on the jury. I want to play with Stephanie. I think that'd be fun. I want to see what she can do, how we can work together, and just kind of vibe to the end of the game and run this thing. And I don't want to first boot Bruce, but that's the only option left, so I have to.
Okay. Interesting. Well, that was a great episode.
Yeah.
We will be back next week. Same place, same time.
And with that being said, check out all the Reality Realm shows, Pit Stop Pals, New Generation Challengers. I always want to say next, but it's new.
Yeah.
And Redbubble store, all the socials and such. And with that being said, grab your torches and head back to camp. Bye, everyone.
Goodbye.